Hi, Vicki St. James here for 106.5 Corn Country. And I have the honor and the distinct pleasure of interviewing V.J. Allen. Jay, it's such a pleasure to have you back on air with us again. Thank you so much for agreeing to chat with me today. Since
Oh, thank
the
you.
last time we chatted, Jay, you now have a record deal with 1 p.m. Is that correct?
Yeah, did The Voice and got a record deal offer, and honestly been on tour ever since. So
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's so fabulous. And since you started, and well, since your mama passed in 2019, you have raised over $100 million for the Alzheimer's Association. Thank you so much for the philanthropic work that you are doing in your mama's memory. How beautiful is that? Speak to us a little bit about that.
yeah. It started out as a sad thing for us. It turned into something really beautiful and really powerful.
Yes.
Mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's when she was 51.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it happened really fast for us and took her life in less than 3 years.
oh,
For me, I saw it as an opportunity to try to help her with my gift of music, and so I
yes.
wrote a song about it called "Blank Stares," and
Yes. Blank
I started
stares.
touring and sharing that message and that story. And we were playing for big crowds, opening up for a huge country artist, and I just suddenly had this idea: what if I show them what this is? So we decided to bring
Yes.
Mom on stage, and we
Oh,
were actually in Iowa at a show in Iowa. I think the first time was opening up for Jake Owen, and
oh,
decided to bring her on stage. And which it's a really honest moment where I just opened up and shared what was going on with her and the song I wrote for her, and people saw it with their own eyes. And I think
yes.
it really was just a human moment. And so a lot of people took videos, and a couple of those videos from a couple of those shows went like mega viral and broke the internet. And we partnered with the National Alzheimer's Association, and I just started saying yes to every opportunity that came my way,
Yes.
and
Yes.
started learning how to become a philanthropist and raise money and raise awareness for that disease. And then
Wow.
NBC's The Voice called me a couple years ago, and I said yes to that opportunity, and they
Yes.
shared the story in a beautiful way and let me sing that song on the show, and turned
Yes.
into a little record deal, and brought on a new manager and a new agent, and created a band. And we've been touring since I came off The Voice, and I've actually been on my Night of Hope tour since January, and we're wrapping it up this Saturday in Clear Lake at the Surf Ballroom. So
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love it. Yes, and right before we started chatting, I went to visit my mother in the nursing home. She's 92, and her husband, my daddy, passed of Alzheimer's in 2017. So I told her about this interview, and she got all teary-eyed. And I said, how about, Mama, if I read the lyrics to Blank Stares to you? So I read the lyrics, and she just started crying. She says,
oh,
"This is so powerful." And so we prayed for you. We joined hands and we said the Lord's Prayer. And she's like, "You tell him he's one of God's kings." Is,
oh.
isn't that beautiful?
Wow, how
Yes,
cool.
and this
Hmm.
woman, seriously, she's an influencer on Facebook because of her inspirational messages. And Perkins Restaurant and Bakery has sponsored her on the radio to share inspirational messages. So
Wow.
she knows what she's talking about when she says you are one of God's kings.
Oh man, that's I don't know if I deserve that, but that's very,
You
very
do
kind.
deserve it. You do
Wow.
deserve it, Jay. I'm serious. What you have done to help combat Alzheimer's is just, there's no way to explain it, but then God has been with you through every step of your path and your journey to end Alzheimer's. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks for saying that, Vicky. That means a lot.
Yes,
And I'm sorry you've had to experience it as well.
thank you.
It's a really hard thing to go through and to experience, especially
Yes,
when it's like someone that you love more than anything
right,
that's your whole life.
right.
But I've tried to face it as and utilize it as an opportunity of how can I share what I've
Right.
gone through, and now what you've gone through, and so many others that help fight against it, raise money
Right.
for the cause. We've had some treatments made available now in the last couple of years, approved by the FDA, which has been awesome. We made that
Ah,
headway.
yes.
They're still working on that big old cure that we've been working on for 40 years now.
Right.
But now I've also been hearing stories of people that have reversed their dementia. So
Wonderful. Yes.
that's actually why we called the tour the Night of Hope tour.
Oh,
We made friends with this gal in Kansas City. Her name is Ann, and she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at age 50, I believe, and she changed her whole lifestyle. She got a nutritionist, a trainer. She cut out alcohol completely, which is really hard to do, and
of course it was.
it got her butt in the gym, and she is free and clear of dementia.
Yes.
So
Wow.
yeah, she started the nightofhope.com to share that message in ways you can change your lifestyle to better yourself and make sure you don't have to experience this or family members experience this in the future. And so she actually was a sponsor of our tour. And so that's why we
Really
yeah, we have banners up on stage in the background. You'll see them in Clear Lake at the Surf Ballroom.
sweet.
They say Night of Hope Tour, and there's a QR code, and we don't get too in depth about it. We just kind of mention it, and people get their cameras up and they can hit that QR code and they can pull up right there on their cell phones, the nightofhope.com. So it's a really cool thing to be a part of.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that and all that you are doing. So at 2:20, I pre-recorded my show so that we could chat here. Just so you know, at 2:20, I'm playing No Present like the Time, or
Oh, yeah.
yes, No Present like the Time. Yep,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
yes, my pleasure. And then your other song that I'm playing this afternoon at 4:35, and you can hear it by listening to iowacorncountry.com, is Whiskey Prayer.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
my pleasure. They're both so beautiful. Yes, thank you so much for sharing those songs with me via Dropbox, because I was able to download them and then get them on the air for you today.
Awesome. You are an angel. Thank you, Vicki.
Oh,
That's
my pleasure. Truly a
Yeah,
pleasure and an
I
honor.
don't know if a lot of people know this, but I grew up in that area.
Right,
I've been in Nashville. I left when I was 21. I've been in Nashville for now 11 years, doing music full time.
right.
But I mean, I grew up listening to country radio there in Iowa. My mom loved the local country radio station.
I
She
love
cannot
it.
sleep at night without listening to country radio. So
Oh,
it's a pretty cool
beautiful.
thing for you to, take the time to interview me and share the music. I know we've probably got some smiling angels up there right now. So
Yes,
yeah, thank you.
smiling angels. My
Yeah.
pleasure, truly. So No Present Like the Time. Tell me about that song.
Yeah, so I wrote that with a couple of friends of mine. When I was on The Voice, and not a lot of people know, but they basically trap you in a hotel room right outside of right outside of Hollywood and Burbank, where you film, and they don't really let you leave. So I had to sneak out a couple times, to be honest, just to get some fresh air. But a lot of alone time, about 2.5 months worth of alone time, and that felt at first was not like a good thing for me, and then kind of something went off in my mind, like I'm most likely never going to have that time alone again, and
Right.
we have really busy lives, all of us, busy schedules, always surrounded by
Yes.
people and social environments. So I started going through kind of the cobwebs in my mind and in my heart of, losing mom and getting over the grief and sadness, and also realizing if I truly believe I got a mother in heaven, she probably wants me to be happy.
Yes.
So I started thinking about the lessons I've taken from the experience of loss, and there are all these positive things. So I put all those positive life lessons into 3 minutes, wrote that song with my buddies, and it really came from that phrase. We've all heard the phrase, "There's no time like the present."
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, how about the other way around? There's no present like the time. Time is
Right.
also a gift, like we wake up every day with eyes that see, ears that hear, beating hearts, lungs that breathe, the opportunity to do something, make a splash in the world, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. So why don't you take advantage of that? So
Yes.
I've really learned just to say, it's losing my mom has taught me to try to say yes to everything and try to make the most out of my days and out of my life, and take advantage of the opportunities you've been given. So that's what that song's about.
Ah, how beautiful. I love it so much. So, since our talk goes over that time period, how about if I switch over to the intro of the song, and the first couple minutes of the song, we'll play that, and then we'll keep talking after that. Does that sound good?
That
Oh,
sounds awesome, Vicki.
we'll do that for sure. Okay, so tell me about Whiskey Prayer, the other song that I'm going to play at 4:35.
Yeah, that was a song that actually was a song that comes from a tough moment. It was another song that leads back to mom.
Uh,
We played a show somewhere in North Carolina, And on the way from North Carolina down to play a show in Savannah, Georgia, I got that call that mom was most likely not going to make it through the night. So we had to
Oh,
play a
I'm so
show at a club
sorry.
for a bunch of college kids that night, and I knew in the back of my mind I'd wake up the next morning without a mom,
Oh,
which was like it was a
oh,
weird, hard feeling,
of course it was.
so that night I had just a little bit too much to drink, which I don't think
Yes.
anyone can blame me. And
No, of course
I
not.
remember ending up at a bar and that night and praying out loud to the bartender. He probably thought I was crazy. And it was one of those, when you pray out loud, you most likely hold back a little bit and don't say all the things you're thinking. This was what I call my R-rated prayer. I just said all my thoughts, and I was
Yes,
really upset, let down and frustrated.
of
So
course you were.
um, looking back now afterwards, I'm thankful for that moment because it
Yes,
solidified my faith. Made my faith even stronger. That if there's a God in heaven that can pull even me out of that really dark moment,
yes,
then
of
He can do
course.
anything. He can do anything. So
Yes.
that song came out of it, Whiskey Prayer. Would you
Oh,
answer this whiskey prayer? Yeah,
oh, how beautiful is that? I love it so much.
thank you.
So, yeah, so that's when you gave your heart to God.
Yeah, that was kind of just the release of it all.
Yes.
And then the next day, I was woken up at 3:30 in the morning to her passing, and so the whole next day we had to drive from Savannah, Georgia, back to Nashville, and I remember just feeling like this such a presence, like
Yes.
it's hard to describe unless you experienced it
Yeah.
yourself, like when you truly choose to believe, you
Right.
experience the joy of, heaven. I just felt
Right.
like I was experiencing a glimpse of heaven the whole ride back. The sky was
Yes.
perfect. The sun was out. Like it just seemed like a
Oh,
beautiful landscape the whole drive back home. And I sat in the front and just cried like tears of joy. And
oh, wow.
I just felt like she was okay. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, that was definitely a moment handing it all over to him. And
Yes. Giving it to him.
yeah, it hasn't
Yeah.
been easy. We all
No,
have
of
our ups and
course.
downs and roller coaster rides, but he's definitely been the thing I've leaned on. It's been my faith. That's my foundation, my rock.
Jay, how beautiful. Oh, I love it so much. And I had a moment similar to that when I was 15 in
Mm.
1974, when I was in a hospital after I'd been, well, raped by a teacher. And
Oh
that's a
no!
very scary thing to be raped by your teacher. You trust these
Oh,
people, right?
so
So
sorry.
my mom and daddy said, you got to go to the hospital because I was feeling suicidal at that point. So they put me in the hospital. I prayed, Dear Jesus, I give you my life. I'm 15 years of age. I'm like, 1974, come into my heart and heal me because I don't know what else to do. In that moment, when I raised my hands in that hospital room, he took my hand and he has never let go.
Hmm.
Yeah,
How beautiful.
thank you.
How beautiful. Well,
Thank
you
you.
are such a light. Like
Uh,
you're such an example of even going through the darkest, most
yes,
terrible, wicked, twisted thing, you've come
yes.
out like a shining star.
Ah, you
How cool
sweetheart.
is that? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing that. And so we have 2.5 minutes before I introduce you and play the song, just so we keep on time, because I want you to
Sure.
hear that intro and I want you to hear this song being played for thousands of people in your home state.
How cool.
Yes,
Let's go.
absolutely. Yes.
How
And
cool.
you went to Dyke New Hartford High School.
I sure did.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
I actually
class now? What year?
2004. I
Oh,
actually got a cool phone call. Maybe about a month and a half ago. A gal that graduated a year ahead of me. Her name is Sadie Six now. She's now the mayor of Dyke, and she called me and she asked if they could bring me in to perform at Watermelon Days.
oh,
So like a
cool.
thing I grew up going to, I always wanted
Yes,
to like I saw like the local bands play there and always wanted to play it. And now I'm getting a
yes.
phone call from the
From the
mayor, who was a friend I
mayor.
grew up with,
Wow.
invited me to come play it. So we're playing Watermelon Days in
Oh my
Dyke.
gosh, I love that. And what's the date on that again?
I think it's like August 11th, I believe.
Okay, okay. Now looking at your tour, it says you're going to be in Nashville next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're going. We're playing this Saturday in Clear Lake, and then we have to come back to Nashville because we have CMA Fest
Oh,
So
CMA Fest.
yeah,
Very cool. Oh my gosh, I love that. So
yeah.
tell me about CMA Fest. Is this the first time you've done it?
I've been involved a couple years, and honestly, the first invite was with Blank Stares. They had me play one of the
Oh,
big stages, and a couple thousand people showed up.
sweet,
So yeah,
sweet.
so we've been involved every year since, and tried to play at least one or two shows during the week, and then I always do all the signing booths to meet everyone and say hey to everyone. It's pretty cool, just like fans and country music
Wow.
listeners from all over the world come to Nashville for this next week. So it's an awesome
Very,
thing.
very cool. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love it. We have 45 seconds. So I saw you last in Des Moines at the Old Dominion concert
Yeah,
when your wife was performing on stage.
that's right.
It
Yeah, that was
oh,
awesome.
it
Yes.
was so beautiful. Your wife is just gorgeous,
Yeah.
drop dead gorgeous, and so talented, as you know. Is she there?
She's right behind me.
Oh, sweetheart, you are so beautiful. Yes, drop dead gorgeous. And to see, oh, there she, hi, sweetie. I love you, honey. I love you so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. Here we go with the voice track. All right.
Awesome.
DJ Allen. He was featured on NBC's The Voice, ABC World News, People Magazine. He's been on People and Ben and in People Forbes Magazine. And of course, you know, he went to the Harvard High School. Oh my gosh, he's absolutely amazing. DJ Allen. Please interview him. And it will be placed on our website this afternoon. He's known for his nonprofit works for advising others from Alzheimer's in 2019. They have gone on to raise over $100 million to help fight disease, the same disease that the life had 2 years previous to that. Oh my gosh. He's just amazing. He was presented with a character award by the National Alzheimer's Association as between the White House by the First Lady, Dr. Joe Biden, made history by performing the first ever concert in the U.S. Capitol building and successfully concluded his first event kingdom, leading to airplane. You see, the guy's incredibly gifted. JB's on the side his first cross country headlining tour, Night of Rock, right here. I have his country song. Yes, he does all genres, but this is country song. Now for you, absolutely. It is called No Presents Like the Time. JF. There you go. Did you hear it?
Yes, you are
Oh,
such a sweetheart. That's so
oh,
well said. Thank you.
oh, my pleasure. Truly a pleasure. Yes, thank you for agreeing to be interviewed by me again. We did this last year, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to interview him again. When I saw you at the Surf Ballroom, I was like, we got to make this happen. So thank you for agreeing to do so. We still have like 8 more minutes. What else would you like to share with your local Iowa audience?
Yeah, so I'm actually announcing in the morning that I'm dropping a record. I'm going to drop a full length album. So
You are?
yeah,
Yes.
it's something it's something that I actually have never done, like make a real record. I've been so I guess engulfed in the charitable side of myself. I've never really had the opportunity or probably the team to actually make a real album and do it the right way. So we have an album coming out on my mama's birthday on June 28th.
Oh,
So
how beautiful on her birthday.
yeah, you're the first to
Yes.
know.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much. What an honor to be the
yeah,
first to hear these words. Oh, how
yeah.
beautiful. Your mama is so excited about this. You know she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, another surprise is that
Okay.
I'm calling the album Des Moines. So I actually was living in Des Moines when my ex woke me up and said, "You need to move to Nashville, otherwise you never will." And
Oh,
so I had a guitar case and I had a suitcase, and I made that 10 and a half hour drive to Nashville 11 years ago all by myself from Des Moines.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Des Moines holds a special place in my heart.
How
That's
beautiful.
where I first got the dream and became brave enough to pursue this thing. And also, I have a little sister and a nephew that's 2 years old that lives in Des Moines as well. So
Ooh,
yeah, it's a big deal to me.
sweet.
I wanted the title of the record to be something special. So it's
Yes.
called Des
So
Moines.
how beautiful is that? I love it. Oh my gosh, so cool. Very, very cool. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, which is really awesome. We're so honored. Okay, so we still have 6 more minutes. So, okay, so tell me, who's your greatest influence, Jay?
Oh, I'm heavily influenced by lots of people. If we're talking artists, I was raised by a mother that all she was country music up to a certain point. And then it's a long story, but my dad had a restaurant, and that's where he met my mom. He had hired.
Ooh,
It was called Joe. His name is Joe, so they called it Joe's Country Grill.
ooh,
They had
fun.
yeah, they had 2 locations, one in Evansdale and one in Waterloo. And so he had hired my mom and her sister to be waitresses. That's where he met my mother. They fell in love. I was
Oh,
born. They got
sweet.
married. Yeah, so dad, mom was all country music until this happened. So a couple came into the restaurant one morning and they invited my parents to go to church with them. And my
Ooh,
parents kind of had I guess, a bad experience, a bad taste in their mouth when it came to church. So
okay,
they kept
sure.
declining until they finally invited to take me to vacation Bible school. And
Ooh,
I loved it. I started going to church with this couple every Sunday at age 4.
sweet.
Um, Eventually, we convinced my parents and my sisters to start coming too. And then after that, my mom was all Christian music. So she loved country music, and then she started
Oh.
listening to all Christian music. And then dad is a hippie. All he ever listened to classic rock and roll. So I had all these. My first concert was Kansas opening up for Styx when I was 10 years old in Waterloo. So I had all these
Wow.
different influences. I'm covered in tattoos. I wear all black. And I drive a muscle car. I love all manly stuff and guitars. That was dad. I love country music. I sing country music because mom. And
Yes.
then this couple, they basically built this foundation for me of faith. And that's why I
Wow.
became a music director. I was on staff at churches. Since I was a kid, I helped build some ministries. Actually, started a church in Grundy Center in the 99-cent movie theater when I was
Oh.
21 years old, 19 or 20 years old. And now they have a whole church building there and everything. So it basically, for me, it's like I have all these influences. And I've learned, I think what's most important is you're just authentic to you, and that's
Yes.
when people connect to your music and your voice and your shows and your story and your message.
Right.
So I'm definitely in the genre of country, and I love country music and what it stands for. I can talk about my faith while I'm holding the beer on stage.
Yes,
So,
there you go.
I couldn't do that in the church being a worship leader.
No, no, the
But
red solo
yeah,
cup.
yeah, it's cool to meet like legends like Blake Shelton,
Oh,
and like on
yes.
The Voice, and I've seen him a couple times. Actually, the last month we just did the Power of Love Gala in Vegas. We were part of helping raise $10 million for the Cleveland Clinic there,
Oh,
and
wow.
we honored him that night, so I got to spend time with him and just. I think a lot of country artists are truly like authentic, and they share all of us have been through hard things and experiences in life, and country music, the genre, is such an outlet to share that in an honest human way. So that's why I've connected with country. But I still love like Chris Daughtry and Matchbox 20, Three Doors Down, and all that
Yes,
stuff as well. So
right. Rob
yeah.
Thomas.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotta love him. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that is so beautiful. So tell me, do you have a bucket list?
Yes, I have a bucket list, and I'm actually can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes, I can
I'm
hear you.
actually
I'm listening.
I'm checking off one of those boxes this Saturday at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake,
Yes.
performing there. I actually
Wonderful.
I went to a big church camp in Clear Lake, and so we always drove past that on the way there every year
Oh,
up and through high
wow.
school. So I was just like, man, it'd be cool to be able to go there one day. I didn't even think about playing
Yes.
there. I thought just attending a show there,
Right.
and now we're playing a show there and wrapping up my Night of Hope tour there. So
Ah,
uh, That's a bucket list thing for me for sure.
Yes.
A lot of
Oh,
the bucket list things have happened over the last couple of years, which is awesome. But the dream is growing. I think for me, it's we've done so much work on the charitable side of things, which I will continue to do and always do
yes, of
that. I'd love
course.
to expand what I'm doing musically though, and kind of take my artistry to the next level. You know, I've been such a champion and fan of watching my wife, who's been all in on her solo career
Yes,
and just like
right.
kicking butt the last few years. I've learned a lot watching her, and definitely, I'm older than her and her husband, but I look up to her on what she's accomplished on the artist side. So I love to kind of follow in her footsteps and kind of take what I'm doing
Ah,
to the next step as well. So that's bucket list for me as well. That's dreaming. That's the
wow.
vision. So we're
That
working
is,
on that.
yes, that is so beautiful. I love that so much. And you two have matching tattoos.
Oh yes, we do.
Yes, there it is. Love that so much. Just
Yep.
beautiful.
She let me have a say in our wedding, and one of my requests was that we have a tattoo artist at the reception to tattoo us and our guests, and she thought it was a cool idea, so we did
Yes,
that.
so cool. And the guests too, that I didn't know.
Yeah, we shot a music video there, and then we had the
Whoa.
tattoos. So we had actually had our attorney at the very front entrance of our wedding. When people walked in, he handed them a waiver to sign. You couldn't attend the wedding unless you signed the waiver first if you wanted to get tatted and be a part of the video. So yeah,
Wow.
we had some funny texts the next morning from guests showing us their tattoos.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So Des Moines is going to be released on the 28th,
yeah,
your
June 20th.
mama's
Yep,
birthday.
yep, 10 songs. Yep.
10 songs. Wow. Okay. So are
Yeah.
they all produced?
Yeah, they're all produced. I went to the studio with a producer by the name of Matt McClure. He's
Okay.
most known for producing Lee Bryce. If you remember the song "I Drive Your Truck" or "Hard to Love," which are like
Hard
some
to
of my
love. Yes, hard to
favorite
love.
songs.
Same.
Uh, yeah,
He's
I
your
just remember.
producer.
Yeah,
Oh my
he produced
gosh.
the record. We connected through my manager Stacy, who I've been with for a year now, and she had done a project with him in the past and thought he'd be a perfect fit for me. He has just a really deep faith. Him and his wife are both cancer survivors, and
Oh,
he's just like
wow.
I don't know. We're like in the studio working really hard, but like also like having moments of like in tears laughter, and then in tears, sharing our stories of
Yes.
survival and trying to take what we've gone through and turn it into something good to benefit others. So it was a
Beautiful.
really positive, fulfilling experience to make this record with him. So I'm excited to share it.
So exciting. I cannot wait for that record to drop on the 28th of June, Mama's
Yep.
birthday.
Yep.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
I would just, I think it's, you know, a cool opportunity to see a lot of friends and family. I can't come home a lot,
Of course
but
not.
this Saturday I'm coming to play a show. It's not about me either. It's about a
Yeah.
cause,
Yes.
So I just get to facilitate that cause. So I would love to see my fellow Iowans Saturday in Clear Lake at the Surf Ballroom. So if you don't got a ticket, please grab one.
Yeah. I will be there. I will see
Yeah.
you. Yes, for sure. So
Awesome. I
eight
can't
eight
wait to see you,
o'clock
Vicki.
is, yes, my pleasure. So 8 o'clock, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Oh my
Yep,
gosh.
going at 8, bringing the whole band. So we're gonna rock and roll. It's gonna be a party with a couple tears in between somewhere. So
Yes, exactly. Couple tears in between. And a
yeah.
red solo cup lifted for Toby Keith's memory, right?
Oh yes,
Oh,
yeah,
February 5th, a day that will live
yeah,
on in infamy when we lost that beautiful
yeah,
man.
yeah. Just goes to show life is fleeting, but what an impact you
Yes,
can leave in the time you've been given.
exactly. What an impact you can leave in the time you've been given. Mic drop moment. Oh, thank you so much, Jay. I really appreciate this time with you. I'm so edified now by hearing all these beautiful thoughts, and I will see you in the rest of us. Okay, 106.5 Corn Country. We'll all see Jay there this Saturday at the Surf Ballroom at 8 p.m. See you there, or be square. Thank you, Jay. Have a
Hey, take a
wonderful
picture
day.
for me. Smile for me, Vicky. I'll screenshot us.
Oh, that would be beautiful. Thank you.
Got you.
Thank you so much. See you
Thank you.
Saturday. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.